All I know is this violates every canon of respectable broadcasting.
How are you?
Hey, who wants to help me get this recorder out of here? I need some muscle over here.
You are listening to Blame Your Brother.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everyone back once again to Blame Your Brother. This is episode 125. We are streaming the show. We are back on YouTube this week, so go to blameyourbrother.tv every Thursday night, 8 p.m. Come join us. We're also on Facebook Live and Periscope, so if you want to hang out with us, that would be awesome. And so we'll go ahead and introduce ourselves because we have a special guest tonight. We can't wait to get to all that. But I am one third of this trio. I am David, a.k.a. D-Brew, voice of the people, Mr. 40%, Glenn Jackson, Nick Nickum, the spiritual midget. And I'm joined every week by this man who sits to the left of me. It's my brother. It's Lee.
What up, everyone? It's Mr. 13%er, Mr. Warren Buffett, a pure genius, and, of course, the one and only LeBron safety pin.
And then we got this guy over here, the one and only for sure, it's John.
John here, a.k.a. Tico, a.k.a. Mr. Groupon, Mr. PTI, the madman.
They got John Tortorella, a madman. They do. Okay, he's a madman.
All right, so that's the three of us, and then we're joined tonight by WKRN's very own Mary Mays. Mary, how you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Awesome. Thanks so much for showing up, and
Thanks
we're gonna
for inviting me.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about weather and your life and all kinds of fun things. We'll get to all that. So I know people are checking it out tonight for that. So hopefully you guys will enjoy it, and if you got questions, throw them up in the chat room. We'll try to get to those because we got a few from people left us some questions for. They have some questions for you, Mary, so we'll definitely get to that. But we're going to start the same way we always do. Just like the weather people, we get things wrong a number of times. So
those are fighting words.
we're wrong more than you are.
Please fight David right now.
But
No money's on Mary.
So we offer a chance for us to apologize, take things back that we said, offer retractions. So Lee, we'll start with you. What do you need to apologize for last week?
I got called out on the show last week during the show, and I had to apologize for interrupting John when he was wrong. So John, I apologize for that.
Well, part of that is correct.
Which part is incorrect?
The part about me being wrong.
I don't know. I just wrote down apologize for billions. You were saying something about billions. I don't know.
All right. Anything else you need to get off your chest, or is that good?
I kind of went on a little communist rant last week, I feel like. So
yeah, you definitely said you were a communist.
I apologize for any pro-Russian propaganda I might have put out there on the airwaves. That's always embarrassing.
You were like one sentence, I'm a communist, then like a next sentence later, oh, I'm not a communist at all. And I'm like,
yeah, it's confusing.
Okay.
It's very confusing.
You're a communist, right?
No.
Okay. John,
Maybe.
Anything?
Nothing.
John's clean as a whistle. All right, good. Well, we'll keep going then.
What about you?
I don't make mistakes.
Okay.
I mean, actually, you know what? I think I did. I think Michael Anthony tweeted it to me, and I just forgot what it was. So he called me out, so we're fine. So, yeah, it's it is what it is. All right.
What did he call you out for?
I have no idea. Something about the president or something.
It's some obscure fact that.
Yeah. So, all right. Anyway, so what's been going on with you guys this week? Anything big?
So there was this thing in Nashville called the Outer World Experience. Did you go to that?
I haven't.
You heard about it, though?
I heard about it. It's at the fairgrounds, right?
Yeah. So it's in. I don't really.
For the record, there is a Groupon for that.
Oh, there is. You want to throw out your discount code while we're here?
Put in Blame Your Brother.
Blame your brother.
So it's like I don't really know how to describe it. It's like a science fiction fantasy art installation. So you go in and it's like they scan your brainwaves as a collective group, and then they say they're going to create a collective experience based upon your thoughts. And then the portal opens and you walk through this sci-fi portal, and all of a sudden you're in like, there's like alien landscapes, and there's like fog machines and lights, and you have to and just different type of installations. It was really cool. I took some pictures. I'll post them online. But the whole goal is there's a secret room at the end. So it's a bit of an escape game, too. And you have to solve these puzzles in the installation to find symbols. And at the end, you put in the symbols as a code, and you go into this virtual reality room. And it's like the entire place is kind of dark. And then the virtual reality room is like super lit up. And they've got each corner of the room is dedicated to another era, like the 80s, the 90s. The 2000s and the aughts, and it's like a video game console. So they had like an Atari 2400 on a CRT screen that was like all fuzzy and stuff, and then I think the next one was like a Nintendo, and it was like PlayStation, and then it was a Wii, and then it's like PS4, and in the middle they had a VR goggles you could put on. Do a
Sweet.
little VR
All
experience.
right, there you go.
But they're trying to expand to like take it on the road to like Atlanta, Washington D.C. I think. So they're trying to. Evidently, there's a lot of codes at the fairgrounds that prohibit you from building like fire hazards. You know, so they kind of stuck to those. So they said they're going to do it in their own warehouse where they don't have those codes. So definitely going to have to go check that out. You know?
Well, there you go.
Anyway,
So did you have a lot of fun?
it was cool. Yeah, you know, something you could take the kids to and they can have fun. It was pretty neat. I like science fiction art installations, but I'm a weirdo. So there you go.
Okay.
What
There
about
you go. What did I do this week? I don't. I went to Corey's. My brother-in-law had he turned 42, just like I'm going to very soon, and we had like a little party at the lake house, my in-laws' lake house. So watched football games, had some drinks, we went to a brewery and hung out
No
at a bar.
shenanigans?
Not a lot. We're getting older now. We're going to bed a little bit earlier.
Just sit in the rocking chairs and
Yeah.
talk about the glory days.
Pretty much. That's what it kind of turned into.
We
It's
have to start calling you Uncle Rico.
I know, man. We're getting old. So yeah,
How far can you throw a pigskin?
not very far. Not as far as Rico. But yeah, that was about it. That was a big thing this week, John.
I watched a little football over the weekend. Hung out with some friends I haven't seen in a while. Besides that, nothing much.
So did you?
Yeah, this friend. Are we up on the 13 or are we down?
We are drastically down.
Okay, hold on. We're going to explain to Mary. So John claims that he is good friends with the brother of the lead singer of Imagine Dragons. He said that's what he said. He said they hung out in Vegas. They had bite to
Steak
eat.
dinners?
So I want
fancy steak dinners?
So
No, hamburgers, man.
Fancy hamburgers.
So tell us. I want to know why it's dropped below 13%.
It's something that's not really appropriate for the show. I'll tell you guys about it later.
Oh.
What is that about?
It's you'll understand when I tell you. But
Is it
it's
about?
not-
So is it about the singer or somebody else?
It's about my friend's family.
Okay.
I think I know what happened. John like called the guy up and he's like,
Oh, no.
no, he heard the show and he's like, don't
don't ever.
talk about me on the show
Yeah,
ever
that's-
again.
That's you got me.
I could see that happening. Okay.
Okay, well, we'll talk about it again next week.
We'll keep asking you because you said it was going to happen.
Okay, well I'm saying it's down to like -0 now.
Okay, well, after you tell us, we're going to spill the beans on next week's episode.
We'll see.
Okay. All right. Well, anyway, we got Mary in the studio hanging out.
So what did you do last week, Mary?
Oh, not much. I went to work. I pointed at numbers.
All right.
I smiled.
Exciting.
No, they're forecasted. I'm kind of boring.
Well,
That's
we'll
cool.
see.
That's
We'll see.
typically what we do, too. So,
Yeah.
you know.
Point at numbers.
Caught us on an exciting weekend, I guess. Football, rocking chairs,
You know,
sci-fi art installations at the fairground.
Since college ball's over, I don't really watch NFL too much.
All
so
right, we'll have to get into that in a bit.
Yeah. Let's start. So you went to Georgia and Georgia Tech,
Yes.
which is kind of crazy.
yes.
I mean, because it'd be like, pick Alabama, Auburn, so you like college football. Mm-hmm. So who do you like better?
I'm a Georgia Bulldog.
Okay.
So tell us the college? Did you go to one first? Was it undergrad,
Yeah,
grad?
I went to undergrad at UGA, and that's where I developed my football addiction. And then grad school, I was trying to figure out where to go, and Georgia Tech paid better, so
There you go.
I had an assistantship, and kind of weighed it, and I was like, well, Georgia Tech has more money, so.
So did you wear your Bulldogs apparel when you were there, or
I did sometimes. No one really cared on campus because Georgia Tech is a
beaten
great
down.
school, but
Not a lot of spirit.
and if you're a
Can't
girl, there's not a lot of girls there. So if you're a girl, you can wear anything and say anything, and they're just like, "There's a girl."
Wait. Did you say there's not very many girls on the
No.
Georgia
Tech.
campus?
None.
What's up
Hardly.
with that?
There's like maybe 20%. They've been working for a long time to make it better, but it's just kind of, since it's a very engineering focused school.
Yeah, it's nerds.
I think
You
we got to
know.
run a misogyny alert on Georgia Tech.
Hey.
They try really hard, and they do like work to recruit women. It's just that's how it is at a lot of schools that focus primarily on engineering. So
Nerds.
So what was when you were there, what was your focus?
I was atmospheric sciences, mainly atmospheric dynamics. So my research was mainly on the Arctic oscillation and kind of large-scale atmospheric circulations.
I understood some of those words. So, that's cool.
I'm
So
just-
you were the only woman in the class, right? Is what you're saying?
No. So here's the weird thing. Georgia
The
Tech.
20% of Georgia Tech
Yeah,
was in her class.
as a whole, there was not a whole lot of women, but then we had the one department that was a ton of girls. Like it was the director was a woman, and then we just had it was always woman power.
Oh, that's cool.
And there was the atmospheric sciences building. So yeah, there was a pretty healthy ratio of ladies in that department. But as a whole, at the time, I think they were trying to. I don't know what the grad student statistics look like, but I know that for undergrads, I taught undergrad labs, and it would be like 18 guys and 5 girls.
Okay.
So if you're a guy and you're going to college for ladies, stay away from Georgia Tech.
No. Go to Georgia Tech and get involved in the atmospheric
Oh, and the
sciences.
20%.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, I work with engineers and they're nerds, so I get it.
What's wrong with nerds?
I mean, nothing. They're just weird sometimes, but that's fine. Okay, so you're a Georgia Bulldog fan.
Mm-hmm.
So you must have. What did you think about this year in college football? You guys were almost there, almost made it, and then Alabama just.
That's
wow.
every year.
Yeah.
Alabama.
Well.
You know, Nick Saban's a great coach.
You don't have to say that.
I wish he would
That's fine.
retire. That's all there is to it. But no, I mean, it's just, happens every year. But hey, Clemson, good job, guys.
Yeah.
There you go.
And
right.
I called it on Twitter. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I called Clemson winning.
Really?
And I was very close with their score. I did think it was going to be a closer game.
Huh? Should have put money down. You know,
I should have.
next year.
Well, I also called the Titans beating the Patriots earlier this year.
Oh, look at that.
I was hoping that they would make it to the playoffs.
Oh, you got any calls for the Super Bowl? Give me a pen.
Yeah, you got any Super Bowl picks? John's just going to write it down. So when I'd see a lot of news people, when they go to another city, they kind of lose their old team. I'm just, we're going to keep it real. And then they adopt whoever is here,
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's not going to happen. You're not going to jump on like Tennessee bandwagon or anything. Okay.
No, I mean.
We're not going to see you wearing big orange one morning or something. I mean,
No.
okay. All right.
It's funny because like you act like there's not a Nashville-based SEC team. Like you go straight to the Big Orange. I mean, I know you don't have to worry about anyone jumping on Vanderbilt's football bandwagon, but come on.
I love Vanderbilt. You know that, right? I'm a Vanderbilt diehard fan, but I mean, it's Tennessee Nation here. It's just what it is.
I mean, in the past,
it still is.
their record's been pretty poor.
Yeah, but fans.
Let's be honest.
keep
Tennessee is a fair weather fan state. No?
I don't know. I know some. You don't get a tattoo of a big orange T on your arm.
When
and
they're winning, you do. Okay, think about this. The Predators. They were in the Stanley Cup, the freaking Broadway. People were sitting in it. You couldn't even drive a car because there were so many people. What, the previous years when they were in the bottom, you didn't. You could just. They were handing out tickets at the front door.
Yeah, we've talked about this.
And the Titans, same way.
Yeah,
Titans, if they would been in the playoffs, been a hot ticket. A couple years ago, they were like,
Giving
3
away.
and 15.
Yeah,
We literally would go down there. We were trying to give it to people, and people were like, "Nah,
yeah.
I'm good.
You
I've
could
got
walk.
things
Yeah,
to do."
you could walk through the parking lot. And people would just give you tickets. It was wild. It was
So, like, think about like Green Bay is probably like not fair weather, right?
Oh, sure, yeah.
So you could probably not do that in Green Bay.
No, you got to wait for people to die to get tickets.
That's what I'm
there.
saying.
Yeah.
So Tennessee is a fair weather state. I would say we're only second behind Atlanta or Georgia.
he's talking about Georgia.
True. No, poor Falcons.
So you never liked pro though? You just
No, I mean I never really cared too much.
Okay.
But the Falcons also blew the biggest lead in Super Bowl history,
Yeah.
so that might have.
against the great Tom Brady. That's right. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
They do have a Super Bowl, back like '86, winning with teamwork.
They didn't win.
No,
No, they've
didn't?
never won.
Oh.
That would have been the first one.
No,
My bad. Let me
I
apologize
mean,
for that.
the Falcons. We love them, but they
Right.
just aren't. At college football rules in
I
state of
can
Georgia.
see that. It makes sense. But you got the Braves and
The
you got the
Braves.
Falcons. I mean, it's not bad.
Yeah, we used to have what was it? The Thrashers. We used to have a hockey team.
Yeah, that's true.
But
So
not
did you?
anymore.
Are you into hockey? Have you gotten into the hockey craze when you came here? Because everyone on the news seems to love hockey. I'm like,
I'm trying to get into it.
yeah.
Yeah, I like the Predators but this is the first time I've lived somewhere that has a hockey team.
Okay, gotcha.
Well, actually, I lived in Fort Myers, and they did have a not a pro team, but the whatever's under that. What do you call it?
Yeah.
It's just AAA.
AAA.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we
So
go.
my favorite AAA hockey team is from Georgia. They're the Whoopies, and it's in Macon.
Okay.
Macon Whoopies.
Yeah. I get
Macon
it.
Whoopi.
Yeah. That's the name of the team. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get you.
It's a true story. That's a true
Okay,
story.
It's a good one.
What's the mascot for that one?
It's a bird. A whoopee is a bird.
I know there's a whooping crane.
I have no idea. Do you know about this team? No.
No,
Okay.
have you ever been through the city of Macon, Georgia?
No, I can't. I can't say I have.
If you're driving too fast, you won't remember it.
So that's where John, your wife's from Atlanta, right? Or
She's
lived
from
there?
Conyers, but yeah.
Okay, all right. She was giving her a big shout in the chat up there. So, okay. So what was Mary Mays like as a kid? What were you getting into? So you weren't into sports until you got to college. What were you like doing? You weren't like just outside looking at clouds, were you?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I was a weird kid.
Okay.
I tried to chase a tornado on a bike one time.
Nice. I like that.
But
Wow.
yeah, I used to
Respect.
collect rocks and
Did you grow up in Georgia? Oh, okay.
born and raised in Savannah.
All right.
So
Oh, Savannah's a really cool spot.
it is, and I did not appreciate it until I moved. And then I was like, why are these other cities not as pretty as my hometown?
Let's get landlocked.
I was I was very
I've heard
very spoiled.
I've heard Savannah is the most haunted city in the United States.
It is.
Did you run into any ghosts?
No, but my little sister was a haunted tour guide for a while.
Oh.
And so she worked in this one house, and she's not superstitious. She doesn't, she's very just pragmatic. And she would not stay alone in there because one time she was alone in the house, and the third story of it is supposed to be completely empty. And so she's sitting there after tour group had left, and all she could do is she could hear people walking on the third floor, and there's no one in the house except her. And she was like, nope. She would sit on the porch. And then she had a few other issues too at a different house that she worked at where, the doors would slam, and but that sort of thing can be explained sometimes. But yeah, she's a believer. So
Are you a believer?
I am a believer.
Okay. What about
interesting.
you, David?
No, I'm not.
John, are you a believer?
I'm not, but I've had some interesting
Wait, what?
moments.
No, that doesn't make sense. What do you mean? No,
There's-
but I've had moments that
It's like I've seen a ghost, but I don't believe it.
I didn't see one, but there have been moments that I could not explain. There's been some really weird ones that I could rationalize, but there's been some that.
But you were at Bonnaroo, right?
No.
It doesn't count. Okay.
those brownies were about the bomb. No, I've never seen a ghost, never encountered a ghost. Ghosts aren't real. I mean, we could keep going on and on with this. I think people, sometimes you create things you want to see in life, and it is what it is.
So will y'all do a special Halloween podcast where you're live from a haunted
Sure.
place?
Straight up.
Just
I'll-
to see?
I will.
Just
I think you need the
Just
permission of
attempt
everyone here.
the ghosts?
I'd be down.
Okay,
for that.
so what we did, us two, you weren't there. We
wasn't.
went to. You've heard of the Bell Witch, right, Mary? Bell Witch. Okay, the Bell Witch is like the witch of Tennessee, in Adams, Tennessee. There was a girl. She got killed. She turned into a witch. Woo, all that. So we went there, me and Lee and a
What's that
friend
story?
of ours, overnight in this like cornfield, and it was like pitch black, and we hung out all night. I'm talking into the sun coming up. Didn't run into anything. I'm just saying we were out there, and then we went into the Bell Witch Cave, and so our friend had to leave. He had to go get a battery for the camera or something, and the tour guide puts down these rocks, and they're like, whatever you do, don't step over these rocks or you'll be cursed for a long time. And so we start walking away, and we hear our friend come in, and boom, kicks all the rocks all over the place. And we just went, oh my God, what have you done? Now I will say he did have some pretty bad luck after that, but I think he was unlucky all the time. That's what I think. But anyway, because he did kick the rocks over. But that's
So still not a believer.
so I would totally go do a haunted place. I mean, it's just
Like
a win.
there'll be like a ghost in the middle of the table, and this guy over here is gonna be like, I don't believe it.
Yeah.
You'll be like, I'm not a believer.
Right. Lee won't be there
Yeah, I'll
apparently.
be
so-
running.
Ghost.
I've had a ghost experience in Savannah, so I'm good.
Whoa,
Go ahead.
where?
Yeah,
Tell
like we
your
did
story.
the haunted tour, and we were driving back, and we were like, this is all, there ain't no ghost or whatever. And then all of a sudden we stopped at a red light, and all of a sudden the doors just went lock, unlock, unlock. Everyone at the same time tried to open the doors, and we could not exit the vehicle.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
that had never happened in that car before. It had never happened after. It happened in Savannah after we did a ghost tour and we were talking trash about ghosts.
Okay.
They were just letting us know. Like, they didn't want to hurt us, but they're like, hey, know your place, you know?
All right. Well,
All right.
that is what it is. So we went on Mary.
Maybe you can wear your
Ghost,
disbelief
all right.
like armor.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So you, as a kid, you're just a nerd. You're looking at rocks and
Yeah.
clouds. So when did you decide, like, hey, maybe I want to get into weather?
It was actually college because I went in as a chemistry major, and I wanted to become a chemist so I could learn how to make makeup.
Wow.
And I just I don't really like chemistry that much.
It is tough.
I love makeup, but I just don't like
Right.
chemistry that much. So my sister was like, "You're a weirdo. Just go do the weather program." I'm like, "There's a weather program?" So, because she was a senior when I was a freshman, and so she pointed me to it, and so she takes credit for my entire career.
Yeah.
There you
She
go.
younger or older?
I have both. I'm in the middle, so there's 3 girls.
Which one takes credit?
My older sister.
Yeah, well, she's right. We
Yeah.
all know that. Older siblings, we know, get all the credit, rightly? Yes, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I owe you everything.
Thank you. I'd like to hear
You were
that.
the wind beneath my wings.
Thank you. You want to keep going?
Wait, are
Yeah.
you giving him credit or blame? See what I did there?
Oh. So you get to Georgia, and then you go to Georgia Tech. So you love weather. Then where do you start at? You start in Georgia?
I was in Waco, Texas.
Oh, my goodness.
Ooh.
Super fun.
So when people think Waco, obviously the
Branch
only thing they
Davidians.
think of, is
They're known for their cars too, like car
really
dealerships.
What do you think
right?
of if we were on a game show and we said,
David Koresh.
okay, thank you.
Yeah,
Branch Davidian.
but now it's the fixer-upper people though.
Oh, really?
Like all these
It's
people I
changed.
know.
Oh, yeah.
I have so many friends who are like, I'm going to Waco on vacation, and I'm like, why? And they're like, I want to see the silo. It's like a whole industry now
Right, yeah.
for the city of Waco, and it's great because I've actually been out to the Branch Davidian.
Really?
It is creepy
I bet.
because I mean all of the stuff that happened, but it's still active. Like there's still people there, and it's
What
Alive people, or are we back to the
just
ghost
like,
thing?
but like the people who were original. It's still kind of a.
Wait, the Branch
There's-
Davidians are still there?
They're still there, and they don't want you to. There's a memorial out front, and you can visit that, but do not step 1 foot in a little further in.
Yikes. Oh,
Well, they got like guns trained on people and stuff.
It's just a very uncomfortable atmosphere for
David?
a lot of different reasons.
Your name's David. You
I
go down
should be
there.
allowed to walk in there. So, okay, so that's you. So you went and checked that out. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that is wild. So, I mean, it's a city built on that then at this point, kind of. That's very interesting. So, how long did you stick around there?
I was there for a couple of years. Texas is great.
Yeah.
If kolaches are fantastic, if you've
Okay.
never had one, they are delicious. They have them on the east side here.
Okay.
So
What is it?
it's like this little like bun with like you can either get them savory with like sausage and cheese, or you can get them with like fruit filling like blueberry, strawberry,
That's
that
more
sort of
my
thing.
speed for sure.
They're so good.
Okay.
Just
well,
FYI.
Where at on the east side?
Yeast?
Yeast?
Yeah. Which is it kind of sounds funny. It's like yeast.
East side.
so you go in Waco. Where do you go from there?
Fort Myers, Florida.
Ooh. So which one did you like better? Florida, Texas.
I there's a lot of. I think I probably miss Texas as a whole more because I liked the people and I liked the food, but the beaches in Fort Myers. If I could have if I could be a snowbird and, live there half the year, I would.
Yeah. Hey, I'm down with that. I hate cold weather. I despise it. I hate it. That's why this time of year is terrible for that aspect of it. But yeah, the beach half the year, I'd be down with that. That'd be pretty nice.
Yeah,
Why not? Oh,
dated a girl whose family would go down every winter.
It's beautiful.
Look at the humble brag.
I know.
Dated
It's a
girl,
weird flex, but okay.
beach house, no big deal. Guys, that's how I roll. All right. So when did you end up here? How did you end up? How did you end up here? Were you looking?
I was looking. I was actually at home in Savannah for a little while, just kind of freelancing there and spending time with my family. Because when you work in news, you don't get a lot of time
Right.
off. And then the news director here called me and said, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I was like, "Nothing." He's like, "Come on over."
Wow.
So basically, I interviewed here, and things worked out, and here I am.
So how does the interview go for that? What do they ask? Is it like technical questions, or is it more personality questions, or are they looking at your work history? How does that work?
A little bit of everything.
Yeah.
At this stage in your, if you make it to Nashville, you usually know what you're doing. So they don't ask you too many technical questions. My very first job, they made me fill out an entire test to test my meteorological
Lord.
skills.
Wow.
But yeah, that was not a thing this time around. They trust that you know what you're doing after, because I've been doing this for like 6 years.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, they just, I did a screen test with Bob, and he's the nicest, loveliest person. So that was really fun, and they liked what I was doing.
Nice. Yeah, we love Bob. We talk about Bob from time to time. Bob Mueller, the man.
Yeah, you're a big fan.
I am a big fan. He's like, if you
He's really
lived,
interactive and stuff.
Yeah, if you've lived
Yeah.
here, you've
He's a
seen him
Nashville
on
staple.
TV for a long time. It's wild just to think back how long he's been on the air and things. So that's cool. So you're here. You're in Nashville, and life is good, and you're getting along well, I guess, with the morning people. They seem like very nice people, even though we do have a slight beef with Neil Warren. No big deal.
Who doesn't?
There you go. That's enough said right there. But
Gauntlet thrown.
Let's air out some dirty laundry while we're here. Go ahead.
there's a funny clip of like you two. I was Googling something. I was doing some research, and then there's a clip like that. One of the first things that comes up is like Photoshop. Mary Mays loves Photoshop.
Yeah. I
And
do
she's
love Photoshop.
Oh,
It's
who doesn't,
great.
right? Yeah. And Neil was kind of giving her the business a little bit. She was saying her picture looked better in Photoshop, and then he was kind of adding his comments in there. So, whatever.
So look that one up.
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure. So,
No, Neil's great. He's very funny, very
He's
sarcastic.
very, sarcastic,
I do look
yes.
better in the Photoshop picture though.
who doesn't? So, did you just take pictures recently? How often do you take the pictures? Like once a year, or
Like once a year, but if it's good and you can leave it for like 10, you do.
Okay, gotcha. Like, it's a lot different in that picture. Well, it's like a driver's license. You get a good one, you're like, I'm holding on to this until
Yeah.
they make you.
you.
Yeah.
It's like the 10-year challenge. Can I
Yeah.
keep it for 10 years?
Oh man, I didn't think about that. But my driver's license 10 years ago was awesome. We talked about this. Driver's license now, terrible. Like,
Yeah.
oh man, I was like looking up in the sky where I couldn't see my double chin, but you couldn't see my head, and it was like, it's not a really good picture. I'm like, yeah. So we lost a bunch of weight at the beginning of the year, and then we kind of gained it all back. So there's always the new year for that. But I just had a baby girl, so I've been like at home doing that. And, I think he gained weight. John's wife is currently pregnant,
Yeah.
so
Oh,
Got about
congratulations,
Less than
everybody.
5 weeks. So
less than 5 weeks. So
That's
Yeah.
exciting.
yeah. And so Lee, you just had your baby girl is almost a year old. So yeah, so we're all
just over a year.
Thank you, John.
That's what I'm blaming on the weight gain back is the
Well,
baby.
thanks.
So,
So I had a question about the morning crew. What is your schedule as far as like going to sleep and waking up? Because I am not a morning person, and I have a feeling that the hours are ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm lucky that I don't have to do mornings during the week most of the time. I just do them Saturday, Sunday, so it's a little more relaxed, a little later. I usually would wake up around 1:32, try to be
Wait,
there by
1:30
like
and 2 in the morning?
3:30. Yeah.
Okay, that's not morning time. That is night. Just for the record.
You just
That's
you sleep.
crazy.
You
That's
sleep when
crazy.
you can.
like when do you sleep normally? Like just a normal day,
I
7 o'clock or something?
I
or-
don't have a
You don't
have a
have-
normal
so
schedule.
just-
I just sleep. I'll nap or
I'm
Just a
with you
heavy
there.
sleep
napper.
whenever. Yeah, I don't have a because I work all of the shifts. Fill in the evenings. I'll fill in the mornings. If I'm doing the mornings, sometimes if I hadn't been on that schedule recently, if I'm had been doing a dayside shift the night before or something like that, I just sleep when I can sleep, and sometimes I'm on 2 hours.
So what's your go-to like get up and go? Are you like coffee? Are you
I'm a
Red Bull
coffee.
hot shower? What's the secret?
Coffee, and then about 15 minutes on my little stationary bike.
Really?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I've never heard that before. Huh.
I just got a stationary bike, so maybe I need to do it first thing in the
There
morning.
you go.
Yeah, they're great. It's a great way. I honestly lost like 10 pounds just from getting one of those in my living room.
So like we
Right.
talking
Yeah.
like just like 5 minutes a
Yeah.
day.
Whenever I have time, if I'm watching news or something, or just watching TV, or just feel like it, I'll just pedal some, and then just go about my day.
There you
I
go.
gotta ask you another question about the coffee. How do you take the coffee? It's an important question.
I nothing in it, just
No,
black.
stop. Are you serious?
Yeah, usually
Wow, you're
usually
hardcore.
I make my own cold brew.
See,
Oh,
that's
boy.
she coffees.
Here we go.
She coffees.
Yeah.
John, how do you take your coffee?
Coffee hipsters.
Well, I don't anymore.
Okay,
but when I
exactly.
did,
Yeah.
it was probably a little bit of coffee with my milk.
Yeah.
Coffee with my milk. I
As
don't
in-
even.
as
I don't
in there's
even
a lot
drink
of cream.
Coffee. I drink milk. David.
I mean,
coffee
ahead,
like my
fess
women, lots of cream. I used to have sugar, but I stopped. But no, I can't drink black coffee, man. It's I can. No, don't get me wrong.
It can be very acidic.
I don't prefer to. Yeah.
If you do cold brew, it does take out the acidity, and it's easier on the stomach. That's why I usually do cold brew.
Okay, tell us about how do you do cold brew then? I've heard it and I've drank it before. I just don't know how to make it.
There's a lot of different ways. You can buy a cold brewer where basically it comes with a built-in filter, and you just pour it in, put it in the fridge for 24 hours, then you've got coffee. Or you can also do it to where you put it in a French press like you would normally make coffee, and then you just put the whole French press in the refrigerator.
Really?
For 24 hours, and then you just slowly push it down and hope for the best. It helps to not have it helps to grind your own beans.
Okay.
And to make sure they're kind of like more medium. You don't want it too fine, because then it
comes through.
They come through and escapes. It can be kind of.
Okay, I'm sensing a little bit of a coffee snob here. Just
a
a
little
touch.
bit, yeah.
Just a touch.
Nothing works
enjoy
out well when
coffee.
the phrase "hope for the best" comes into any of my plans.
So what's your if you don't do it at home, what's your go-to coffee in town? Are you Starbucks? Are you McDonald's? Are you like barista parlor?
It depends on who's open. If it's the middle of the night, because a lot of coffee shops close early, there's not a ton that stay up late. If it's the middle of the night and I need caffeine, McDonald's.
No, they got good coffee, actually.
Yeah.
Really
And then
good coffee.
I like Americano a lot in Wedgwood. Right there. That's
Fancy, yeah.
That's
okay.
a nice place. They're
I'm
they're really
definitely-
friendly.
Okay.
So
there you go.
Now, you've been to Crema, right?
Yes, I love Crema too.
Crema's fantastic. It's not a bad one either. So I mean, there are some good coffee shops around
Yeah.
town, but
There's a lot of great ones.
But
I heard there's one I can't remember where it is. I think I saved this somewhere on the internet. I need to go find it. There's one I've heard that Australian coffee is amazing. Like they do something different, or they make it differently. So there's like the Australian way of making coffee.
They brew it on the Barbie.
Yeah, because in Australia, that's one of the few places in the world where Starbucks couldn't get a hold. There's no Starbucks there. They tried to break into that market, but they're like super coffee snobs down
That's
under.
not the one where the animals eat it and then they harvest poo
That's
droppings.
the cat coffee.
Have you
Or
tried
is
that?
it- No.
Oh, okay. You would though, right?
I would.
Really
Why
quick,
not?
though.
Life is short.
Should have
Try
brought
cat poo coffee.
Be shorter if you
I
keep
would.
drinking that.
Yeah, I mean it's expensive though.
But
It's-
what if you taste it and you're like, I can never have regular coffee again?
you might?
But it's really expensive. Would you have to get your own animal and like feed them raw coffee beans?
No, I don't
And,
think so. I wouldn't be doing that.
Just
But-
switch over to Red Bull.
Yeah, at that point, yeah, you just need to get something else going in you. So the stationary, right?
Drink
That's
back-to-back
good, though.
5-hour drinks.
Yeah, that's true. So we
That sounds
did,
like a terrible idea.
I've done it once.
Does that give you 10 hours of energy, or do you just have
Well-
a heart
That
attack?
explodes.
so we celebrated episode 100. We streamed the show for 24 straight hours, and so we were awake for more than that, obviously, but we had to stay awake the entire time. And at about 5 a.m., we were not good. Things were not looking good, and Sky brought in like 10 5-hour energy drinks, and John drank 2 back to back, and I think he was vibrating. I mean, like and it was a wild time.
At that
man.
point,
That's
it's not
intense.
longer just a 5 hours like rocket fuel.
Yeah.
You could literally see John vibrate. Just sitting there, just ooh, it's like you need to go sit down for a few minutes.
But surely you've done like a extended period of time. Like,
Yes.
what's the longest you've ever gone where you were on air? I mean, I would imagine like what 8 to 10 hours.
Oh, more than
Easy,
that.
24 hours maybe.
Well, I think the longest I've been awake would be 33 doing
Mm.
coverage, but I think I wasn't on air the entire time, but I was for a good chunk of it, probably
Wow.
about 20 hours of that.
That is hardcore.
That's all right. I thought we were. Yeah.
What was the circumstances?
It was, I was doing a double shift, or actually I was technically doing a double. So this was when I was living in Texas, and I was filling in for the weekend guy, and he did double. So he did weekend mornings and weekend evenings, and then, you do that Saturday and Sunday. So I did his shift for him, but we had severe weather at the same time.
Ugh.
And so basically I just didn't go home or sleep or do anything. And then basically I said, you know what? Sunday night ain't happening. Someone else has got to do it. And I went to bed at 8 a.m. it was 9 a.m. that Sunday. And I think I woke up at 2 a.m. just in time for my next shift,
Oh my goodness.
which was a morning shift on Monday. So
That's
that was
almost
a rough.
hibernation. Almost.
Yeah, it was probably the most tired I've ever been in my life.
I can imagine. That's
You had to wake up really hungry too, right?
No, I just woke up angry. I guess I was like hibernating like a bear. But now I was just angry. I was like, why do I do this to myself? And then I kind of calmed down.
Picture like an alarm clock in pieces.
right.
When it comes to sleep deprivation, I just get mad.
Right.
My anger fuels me. I don't even need coffee.
Yeah, it
Sounds scary.
It was. I mean, we were interviewing people like the entire time, and I mean, at some point, you just kind of, you're almost kind of phased. I mean, I was just like looking at some people like, I don't even know what they're saying right now. You know,
See, I have the exact. I was like energized by it.
the entire time.
Oh yeah.
Okay, well, not me.
I was ready to go like another 24 hours. I don't know. So like when you're doing severe weather, I almost is it like exciting almost? You got like information coming in quick, and it's almost like time passes quick.
Everything goes by really fast. Usually the main focus is, I'm always thinking, and any meteorologist is always thinking, who needs to know what, and you have to prioritize because sometimes you'll have multiple tornado warnings at the same time, and you have to spend time on each, but you have to figure out which one is or which ones most likely have a tornado on the ground. And you can kind of tell with radar. You'll have we can see debris now. We have this thing called correlation coefficient, which we call debris tracker on air, but you can see debris. Actually, the radar will be able to tell like this is debris in the air from a tornado. So we'll look at things like that and rotation and all these different things. So at that point when that's happening, we're just like, what neighborhoods need to be alerted right now? And we'll get on Facebook, we'll on air, but we'll be live online too, like just trying to tell people, because people will lose power. So we're just trying to tell you, hey, you need to be in your safe space right now because this is coming at you. So, and it's amazing, the technology, because this wasn't there 10, 15 years ago like it is now.
Yeah, that's true.
I was gonna say, it's crazy that you have a radar that can track debris in the air. That's wild.
It really is, and it's just a reminder to people who are watching this. A lot of this is paid for by our tax dollars. A lot of these products and stuff. A lot of the stuff we get is through the National Weather Service and the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, and like this is your tax dollars at work, and it's pretty amazing. What scientists are able to do, and also what we're able to do as TV people to make sure that you are safe and that what's coming your way. And not just that, but flooding too. We can look at rainfall rates. It could be like radar showing that you got rainfall rates of like 2 inches an hour or something. Like flash flooding might happen, that sort of thing. So it's kind of amazing that we have lead times now that we didn't 10, 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah, it'd be wild. I mean, who knows where to be in another 20? It's wild watching technology advance, especially
It really
I'm sure in your
is.
field.
So I had a few people that wanted to ask you questions from
Okay.
different places. So I was actually at a Becky Warren concert last night, and I was asking around what people wanted to know, and they brought up the fact that the federal government shutdown has put the federal meteorologist out of work.
Yeah.
Right? How has that affected your job? Because you just said like a lot of that's federal funding, federal radar, and stuff like that.
Well, they're doing the life-saving warnings and stuff like that.
So that's gone right now.
That's still going. They still
Okay,
work.
that's
They're just
good.
not getting paid. But there's no outreach programs right now. So storm spotters, people who you can get trained by these meteorologists, and we work with them too to help. We always do a lot of public outreach, saying you can come when we do Weather Authority University and things like that. Basically what we do is we have spotter classes too, and they train you to spot the difference between just a low-hanging cloud and like a wall cloud or a tornado or a funnel. You know what to look for. So these are really important because you get trained to be a spotter, and then you can call them and say, hey, this is happening, and they get ground truth data, because eyes on the ground are still important. Our radars can do a lot, but somebody seeing it or somebody snapping a picture and sending it in and knowing what it is, that's amazing. And that's all not happening right now. There's no spotter training. There's no outreach going on. There's a lot of, products that are usually available to the public that are down right now. So, and morale is kind of down too because they're not getting paid.
Right.
They're doing their jobs, but they're not getting paid. And if they take leave right now, they don't get paid back for that. Any leave, anyone on maternity leave, any, sick days or whatever, those don't get reimbursed even when the shutdown's over.
That's wild.
So
yeah, that's we need to get the government reopened. We need to get Trump on the phone, David.
Listen, I'll call him after this. I'll call him after hearing Mary, and I'll be like,
so
hey.
we got another question from the chat, and this comes in from the Not Playing Stupid podcast. When you make an incorrect weather prediction, what is the fallout on social media?
Surprisingly, not that bad. There's always some yahoos who are like, you're wrong 50% of the time, but they always do that on days where I'm just like, dude, I got the high exactly right, man. What do you want from me? It's a science, but it's not exact because I could literally talk for hours on why exactly you can never have a perfect weather forecast, the way our models work and things like that. A lot of this is actually related to chaos theory. But basically, that was developed by a meteorologist at MIT. And, a lot of people are like, oh, the butterfly effect. That was a terrible movie. But anyway, basically, any little change in the initial conditions you put into the model is going to give you wildly different results about 2 weeks down the road. So in terms of weather prediction, anything after 2 weeks is usually just climatology or, kind of guesswork. But anything 2 weeks and under, we have some predictability there, especially within 3 days.
So you're saying you have the ability to 90% accurately predict the weather within 3 days?
More or less.
90%.
Maybe not quite 90%.
Let
but
me back off.
I gave you some rope there.
Your forecast the day of is going to be really good most of the time. But sometimes, models aren't perfect. And there's, that's the thing that scientists and, that we work on all the time. And as a forecaster, you start to get used to patterns and you can, it really, forecasting is an art in addition to being a science. And you learn to get better at it when you live in an area for a couple of years. But in terms of the fallout, there's always somebody who's like, if I could get paid for being wrong 50% of the time, I'm like, you know what? What job do? You probably are wrong 50% of the time.
I like it. I like
Roasted.
it. So have you ever came back with spice like that on like Twitter or something, or you usually take the high
one of those
road?
I don't come to your job and tell you how to fry your fries.
Very, very rarely. I get some weird. Usually, when the messages I get are usually like very rarely related to my forecast. Believe it, they're usually.
Wow, yeah, imagine.
It's usually your dress is too tight, or you move your arms too much, or that sort of thing.
I've heard that that's true. Like, that's crazy to me. Like, people literally get on social media and like, I don't like your outfit today.
Yeah. And I'm just like, send me a picture of what you're wearing.
Yeah, that's wild. Okay, speaking of outfits, Michael Anthony has a question. Now, he's a super fan of ours, and he'll probably contact you after this and probably
I'm
want
sure
your
he
autograph.
probably already has.
He might have. I don't know. Do you get to pick out, this is on Twitter, do you get to pick out what you wear on television?
Yes.
Okay.
I let my Magic 8 Ball do it for me.
There you go. Okay.
Oh, that's a pretty cool Magic 8 Ball.
Yeah. All right. So here's Jason, which is in the chat as well.
Should I wear blue?
He
Sources
said,
say yes.
He said, so explain, he's got a few questions. So explain Nashville's snow dome. Like, do you believe in the snow dome? I don't even know what snow dome is. What is a snow dome? Do you believe in it?
Plateau, right? It doesn't snow in the valley or something like that. You've never heard of this before?
I've heard of it. I don't think it's really a thing.
Good. Well, because
it doesn't.
The answer is
seem
no.
like it. Well,
ghost to real, snow dome not real. Okay. We got you.
If the snow dome exists, it is supernatural for sure.
Well, I mean, the plateau is at a higher elevation, so things are, the weather is going to be a little different there because it's a little colder up there. So, you might get more snow. Like, if you might have rain in Nashville and it's going to turn to snow on the plateau just because it's, sometimes colder. But it's going to vary from system to system.
Okay.
So the snow dome is controlled by lizard people.
There you go. Donald Trump and then Illuminati. Okay, what's the weirdest thing you've ever seen reflected on radar? Like birds, bugs, bats, blah, blah, blah.
We get a lot of birds.
Aliens.
Ghost.
Yeah, ghosts. There's a lot of ghosts on the Savannah radar. It's kind of ridiculous.
So
yeah,
is anything weird?
Like, you get roost rings, which are basically like you'll see if you ever look at especially in the springtime and summertime, if you look at the radar, right around sunrise, you'll see like basically around the radar, you'll see this big ring kind of coming out from it. That's birds roosting, and they're flying about doing their day, getting early bird getting their worms.
I bet that freaked the first person out there. So he's like, aliens, man. He's like,
Maybe.
Running. Okay,
That's the shape of the circle crops.
have you met James Spann?
I have not.
And it said his suspenders rule. And I looked it up. It's some guy, I guess, in Georgia.
No, he's in Alabama.
Alabama, okay.
Yeah, he's a big deal.
He's famous?
Yeah.
Who's the most famous meteorologist, you think? And who would you like to meet?
Jim Cantori probably, and I've met him.
Okay.
James Spann, though, I think it depends. If you're talking about people that other meteorologists want to meet, it's definitely James Spann. Everybody loves.
Why? Why
loves
is that?
him.
Is it just?
He's just such an amazing severe weather person in terms of coverage, and just a forecaster in general. He's incredible, but Alabama gets some terrible tornadoes. They call it Dixie Alley for a reason, and he keeps people safe. Like, he knows every single town, almost every street. Like, he has an incredible memory, and he just is so dedicated to keeping people safe and trying to keep them alive, and it's pretty amazing.
Nice. Now, have you met Ginger Z? She came to town, right? You didn't get to meet her?
I did not. I love Ginger Z.
Yeah, I know people.
Everybody loves Ginger.
Love Ginger, yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, I guess she's probably the most famous meteorologist in the country
or
at this
Al
point.
Roker, right?
Al Roker, yeah.
Al Roker's probably
Al Roker.
Right. Is he good at his job? Would you do you critique these people when you're watching, when you're out of town? You have to tell us who they are. But like, if I listen to another,
watching the news. Nope, wrong.
If I listen to another podcast, I mean, I may like it, but I'm secretly like taking notes. Like, yeah, that was not that good, or that was good.
I'm such a fangirl for other meteorologists. Like, I like turn on people. I'm like, you're doing a great job. I love you. Super
positive.
Yeah.
There's a few. I'm not gonna say who they are, but there's a few around town. I'm just like, yeah, I gotta switch channels.
Oh, is that how this is? No.
Yeah. The truth is out. Okay. The last question is from Rusty G, and that's kind of a serious question, so I don't know. But anyways, Demetria Kalodimos is suing WKR or WSMV. She's not suing WKRN. That would be weird.
Yeah.
She said that the news environment is like ageist and sexist in nature, and she was kicked out for that. I mean, what have you seen working in the industry? Has it gotten better? Has it been all right the entire time? I mean, obviously as a female, meteorologist, I'm sure you would have more insight into it, but is there anything you've noticed or?
That's a loaded question.
It is a loaded question.
That's a difficult thing to comment on.
Right.
But
I love my job.
I will say one thing. I am lucky where I'm at now.
Yeah.
And I haven't always been lucky.
Okay.
But we have great management. We actually have a woman as a general manager, which is very nice too. And they're friendly and people positive like you. People have lives at work, and they respect us a lot. And
that's good.
And I love where I work now.
Okay.
In the past, and from other people, it's present. There's ageism, there's sexism, there is in any industry that you
that's
work
true.
in.
That's true.
And television, there's a lot of different factors at play because it is a visual media,
right? And
there are certain aspects of it that are a little bit harder to deal with. And I will say it, in other places, it's been an issue,
right?
But obviously I can't make comments on what's going on in this market, but I will say, I've heard and I know things have gotten better because I've had women who had been in the business a very long time, 30, 40 years, and they tell me stories from the 70s and 80s that blew my mind.
I'm sure, that
things that used to happen that don't happen anymore. So
that's good.
Yeah.
So I mean, it is a visual industry. Like if you just miraculously over a year time period gain like 150 pounds, do you think someone would say something to you, or would they?
Oh yeah, viewers would. At work they would probably be like, are you okay? Are you having health issues? Do you need? They would probably just care about my health more than anything.
That's good. All right. Well, that was Rusty G who gave him the 5-hour energy drink, so he's always kind of poking the bear. So you love food, obviously, and you love coffee. So what is like the best food of all time? And there's only one right answer, so hopefully you'll get this answer correct.
Oh, that's impossible.
Or just give us your top like 5 or something. You got if you're
Low Country Boil.
What is that? What is this? This is hipster food
No,
101.
it's not hipster.
What is it?
food.
What is hold on.
Low country?
What is this? What is that?
It sounds like crawfish or something. I don't know.
No, we don't know. What is this?
It's if you go anywhere in the low country.
What is the low country? What is
Anywhere, but I'm not going to tell you exactly where anywhere is.
Savannah, South Carolina,
Okay.
Charleston. It's
a state of
basically
mind.
it's delicious. It's the seafood all put
Okay.
together in a big pot. You got
Okay.
sausage, you got vegetables.
Hey,
you
I'm
got
close.
everything.
Okay.
It's good. That's really good. Krispy Kreme donuts.
Okay, that's good.
basically
Yeah,
like
that's-
very
so
high
better
calorie
than
air.
Dunkin'.
I love Dunkin' too.
Which one's better though?
Um,
Krispy Kreme. You said it right. I mean, they are
Krispy
better.
Kreme, but Dunkin' Donuts does have better strawberry iced.
Okay.
Also $5. That's like
Yeah. Okay, but I mean
I'd
that's
fill her
it.
on that. I mean, when you're looking for the glazed, Krispy Kreme's better. But if you want like the chocolate donuts or
Yeah.
anything else, I got to go to Dunkin'.
Cake donuts are for losers, man.
I love
You gotta
cake
get,
donuts.
No, get that stuff out of
Nope.
here. That's
You're for
ridiculous.
losers.
all donuts are delicious.
Thank you.
Amen.
Yeah. See, there's low country right there.
People know what's. I'm gonna put a poll out for this one, and we'll see. Cake donuts, glazed donuts, and glazed donuts
that's
will
not-
dominate.
that's
Everyone's
not-
gonna say.
That's not the question.
Oh, everyone's gonna say that means it's right.
No.
Is cake donuts for losers? Yes or no?
Okay, we'll ask that.
Okay, that's fair.
I'll get my people together. Okay, so we got something we've never heard of.
All
Donuts. What else do you got? I mean, there's that standard like number one answer, right?
Yeah.
Oh, there is?
Yeah.
I guess I like weird stuff. I like Papa Nosh's. So there's this Romanian.
Oh my
no,
God!
no,
That's
there's-
it. That's
It's like a Romanian dessert.
that's exactly what I was thinking about.
It's like a cross
That thing that
between
everyone
like,
loves
imagine,
everywhere.
Imagine if a Krispy Kreme donut had a baby with a cheesecake. That's what Papa Nosh
Okay.
is.
I mean, I'm just
I'm
never.
sold already.
But
Okay.
what is number one? What is everybody?
Pizza.
Pizza.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what?
Oh,
Okay.
stop.
I like
You're
pizza.
done. Okay, we got it. In the
But
same
But
view.
you know what?
You just
Everyone-
unvalidated everything you said so
Everyone
far.
who works at a news station has at one point in their life come in at some weird hour to work their shift and eaten like 2-day-old pizza from like an election coverage day or something, and then you're done. You're just like, you know what? Life has no joy.
I've eaten pizza. We used to live together. There was pizza probably 3 weeks old we were eating. I mean, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I don't know.
I worked at Papa John's for 2 years. Never got tired of it.
What's the best pizza in Nashville? Maybe I'll change my tune.
Joey's house.
Joey's Huts of Pizza.
You haven't been there?
No.
You must go.
5 points.
Oh, Joey's is way
There's-
better than 5
They
points.
have
Stop that
So
already.
the five. Okay, Joy's.
That's dumb.
Both the brothers' pizza places are good, but 5 Points Pizza has a Hawaiian that has
You struck a chord with Dave with that
that
Hawaiian.
It's a spicy Hawaiian that's so good. Anyway,
What is wrong? See, when
Okay,
you
while we're on the subject,
go ahead.
pineapples on pizza. How do you feel?
she said no. I could tell with a wrinkle in her face.
You can jump on my side here. You can. It's nothing.
I don't
wrong-
like pineapples on my pizza.
Thank you. It's trash. It is. When we're gonna look
I
back.
like pineapples in my drinks,
Yes.
in my tiki bars,
Thank you.
in like my bowl just to eat normally, because that's how you're supposed to eat pineapple.
Not on a pizza. And when they'll look back in history and they'll go, man, what happened to society? It started unraveling at a certain point. They're going to pinpoint it right to when people started putting pineapple on pizza.
It's gonna
Guarantee
be like,
it.
it's gonna be like that movie Idiocracy.
Yep,
Have you seen
that's
that?
it. I have.
Whoa, let's slow down. a
No,
little
no,
bit
no, no.
here.
We're right on this.
Let's
It's
slow it
100%. It's
down.
100%. So what's the best burger place in town? Do you have one?
Oh,
You like hamburgers, right? Or is it
I
you
love
like some
hamburgers.
like weird variation of a hamburger? It's
I
like
love
Yeah, it's got to be
hamburgers.
Brown's Diner, right?
I don't know. I'm just asking. Everybody's got a different. I mean, people like the Pharmacy. People like Gabby's. People like Rotier's.
I don't. It sounds like to me she has like two things: Low Country Boil and Krispy Kreme.
I'm gonna call
She's
around.
like
Yeah,
hamburgers.
I'm gonna call around tomorrow and just
And
be
the
like,
Papa Noosh or whatever it's called.
yeah, Gabanouche.
I mean, if you have to go third tier, you're like, maybe I could get some Papa Noosh, I guess. I don't.
All right. Do you like hot chicken?
Oh yeah.
Okay. And do you have a favorite hot chicken place in Nashville?
Oh, I feel like you're gonna give me.
Oh,
crap
well,
for
you
this,
know
but
I am. You know
I
I
I
am.
really enjoyed Hattie B's.
Oh my God.
No, that's
knew
fine.
it.
Listen.
Come on.
I used to really hate Hattie B's, but I've gone to the one on 8th a few times.
You got gentrified and
No,
you're like,
well,
it's good.
I
man.
started
It's
getting
good,
it on
great.
the sandwich, and it changed my opinion.
I'm not knocking. Well, I am
had-
knocking Hattie B's, but
Listen, there are better hot chickens.
it would essentially be if someone came up to me and said, "Bro, I'm looking for a burger around town." I'm like, "Man, there's this place called Burger King. Man, it's fly,
Hey,
dude."
man, Burger King's pretty good.
Oh my god. Have you had Prince's?
No.
Okay,
There's a lot of things I need to eat, but I'm trying to not get called fat on TV by people who watch.
I mean, just hit that bike a little bit harder in the morning.
There's only so many. You can't outrun a bad diet or outbike a bad diet.
That's true. That's true. But okay. Well, you should try Prince's at some point. I'm just
Well,
saying.
it burned down.
But they got another location.
And it's closed.
Yeah. There's another location.
You got to go to
Still
the
open.
OG, though.
They're
Brother, it's not there. I mean, what do you want them to do?
if you go to the
That's
diner
it.
downtown, they serve Prince's hot chicken.
Yeah, they do. The diner. Have you heard of that place
Mm-hmm.
downtown? Okay, cool. So what do you guys normally eat though? Like, do you eat breakfast when you're working, or do you not eat while
I
you're kind
usually
of working?
eat whatever I had for dinner the night before. I just
Really?
bring leftovers. 'Cause
Okay.
I like breakfast food, but not at breakfast time.
Okay.
Blasphemy.
So who's the grumpiest person in the morning? There's got to be somebody. They're not you. Okay.
Now
good.
she gets angry when
Yeah,
she's
that's a
tired.
good answer. There's got to be.
Mary Smash.
I mean, where I work at, we work normal hours, and we kind of sometimes people come in and you're just like, yeah, I'm staying away from that guy
I'm
today.
that
Like,
one.
yeah, you know.
Don't talk to me before 1 p.m. 1 in
Okay.
the afternoon.
AM.
So,
Anyway,
so who's? Then we'll ask you, who's cooler, Josh or Mora?
You can't ask.
No,
them
you
that
got it. No.
question.
I'm
You
asking
can't
Josh
ask that
Breslow or
question.
Mora.
Oh, Mara's watching, so
There we go. Good answer.
have the
There you go.
answer.
Sorry, Josh, you lost, buddy.
I know Josh. No, they're both cool in different ways, and
who's
by
the-
that I mean they're both lame. No, I'm kidding.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
kidding. I love them
Shots
The
both.
answer is
fired.
neither of them. No.
We're all in it together. None of us are cool.
Okay. There you go. I mean, Josh would probably lose because he had his. I mean, it's funny now because he didn't get hurt, but he got his car stolen by a scooter gang.
I was on
mean,
vacation and I came back and I was like, Josh, what happened? He's like, I don't know.
I don't know. I don't want to talk about
Scooter gang, man. Scooter gang rode up on those bird scooters and just took his stuff,
No,
man.
they're both really equally awesome
Okay.
people.
Yeah, I love them both. They're very awesome people. I mean, honestly, everybody seems super cool on the news
Yeah.
network. I will say that for sure.
Everybody's really nice.
Yeah, and I'm a news junkie. They know I love local news. I could tell
do.
you I could tell you everybody that's on all the channels and all that. So, News 2 is a good one. So, there you go.
Yeah, best
All right.
in town, right?
So, yeah. So, do we want to get to some selfies real quick?
All right.
All right. So, we have a little segment where people send in selfies or we take pictures of ourselves. And it's called, oh, shoot. I'm supposed to get the sound drop, aren't I? I'm moving my word. Yeah. So, it's called Blame Your Selfie. And I don't even have the sounder for it. I'm on point today, aren't I?
It's
Oh,
right
there it is.
Honestly, when I first started doing this show, you said you have to take selfies of yourself and put it on the Blame Your Selfie. And I literally thought you were insane. I was like, why would anyone take a selfie of themselves?
Tourist chicken. All right, it's time for Blame Your Selfie, where our blamers send in selfies. Daniel likes Harold's Hot Chicken, which is another good one on Dickerson Road. All right, so it's time for us to show you some selfies, read it, tell you all about it. So this is me, obviously. And if anyone's been listening, you know I play Fortnite every day. I'm addicted to Fortnite. I'm 41. I'm addicted. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. There's worse
Nothing
things.
wrong.
Yeah.
But that's my daughter right there. She's 4 months old today, and we're just sitting there just playing some video games together. She's going to be in my squad soon. We're going to get that going. So,
All right.
next up we have, this is awesome. This is one of our shirts here. This is Jarrett Nicholson, and it said, when it's the last lift of 2018 and there's no waiting, don't blame New Year's resolutions that don't start till tomorrow. Blame your selfie. And he always wears like the Blame Your Brother shirt around town when he's working out. So I love it. That is fantastic. Yeah, I am old. Thank you. This is Adam Cox. He is it's one of my Fortnite buddies. We play Fortnite together. He's actually in England, and he's a writer for our site as well. And so that's his selfie there. He's getting in the looks like he's at a pretty fancy dinner right there. It looks pretty fancy.
Swanky.
Yeah,
Maybe a
that's
wedding.
nice.
Years
Maybe a
thing.
wedding or something. I don't know. All right, this is Elle. She used to be our social media coordinator, and then she kind of, doing her own thing now. But it's Thursday, therefore it's Blame Your Selfie Day. I wore flannel to work today. It's cold here, and she's in New York.
Oh,
so
her eye makeup looks great.
there you go. Elle. She
Yeah.
loves your eye makeup. On point right there.
On
There you go.
Fleck?
On fleek.
Fleek?
What'd you say? Whoa. You
Never
said on
mind.
fleck? Wow. This is Beth. Beth went to New Orleans this past week and had loved it. She didn't want to come back, but this is her rocking her jammies. Apparently she went all over town, saw the sights, saw the sounds, and loved it. So there you go. Kind of jealous of that. haven't been in New Orleans in probably like 30 years or something, so I'd like to go back. This is Sal from Not Playing Stupid, wearing his Blame Your Brother shirt, of course, on the beach. He says, I hope you're enjoying your local weather. There you go. Just wanted to let you know that the weather here in the Dominican is absolute garbage.
Look, and he's got pineapple in his drink.
Yeah,
where
and
it's
his drink,
supposed to be.
not on his pizza. He's in the chat here. We'll see what
Drinks are not supposed to be blue. Come on.
He did say that he likes pineapple on his
drinks are not supposed to be blue. You used to order chocolate teenies and stuff like that, and lemon martinis and all this.
Unfounded.
No,
there is no historical evidence.
Lee.
Yeah.
Did Lee order these, John?
Yes.
Oh, you like? Yes. Can I get a chocolate?
If someone could hear him, he'd be asking for a whiskey sour, and then he'd be like, no.
Give me that chocolate martini. You like chocolate martinis or whatever they're called? What is it called? What am I talking about? Chocolate teeny or whatever?
I might have ordered a green apple martini one or two times.
It's called ordering a hangover with all that sugar in there.
Yeah. So
back
don't
then,
knock that man's drink when you've done worse things yourself. That's terrible.
Saying.
Oh my goodness!
Put
All right,
it on a pizza. It's
all right,
fine.
keep moving. All right, this is me right here shaving in the morning because we said it's a shave selfie challenge. So we'll see if anybody would show us the brand of razor they use because of the Gillette commercial this past week, and we'll talk about that another day. But so did anyone answer the call, Lee? Did any other people
Someone did
submit
answer
a
the call.
Oh, there we go. That's Rose, and she's in Georgia as well. So asking you shall receive. I needed to shave anyway. She's rocking Dollar Shave Club just like I do. So there you go. Thank you, Rose, for that.
Kindred
Thanks
spirits.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Rose.
Why didn't you show yourself shaving your armpits?
Well, I already did. And so there was
okay.
nothing there to shave today.
Well,
So
we're not going to go any further than that, I guess.
All right, so this here is Angela, and I just want to say she is making a film right now, a documentary about the it's what it's called guardiansofgulf.com, and it's Guardians of the Gulf Dry Tortugas National Park. And
Dry Tortugas.
Okay, there you go. Thank
right,
you
I'm
for the
glad
save
you were
there.
here.
Yes, I'm glad
Yeah,
you
it's south of Key West, the furthest south national fort or something.
Look at
That's
this.
where you get
In
your
the US.
pompadours or whatever those
Look
things
at
are called.
that. Look at Mary with a knot. So she's putting together a documentary about it, and I went ahead and contributed some money to it, because I like to help artists that are coming up and everything. And so she's currently working on that. So if you want to, it's just guardiansofthegulf.com. Did you go there? If you want to contribute to it, I think a lot of it's shot now. Now she's doing a lot of post-production stuff on it, and this is her first selfie she's ever done for us. So, so there you go. Thank you so much. Go follow her. What's her handle? Anjolie is Anjolie. So go follow her, and then if you're interested in helping the film out, you can, message her and get that going. So that's pretty cool. I always like seeing people create things, create art, all that on an indie level.
She's very passionate about it. You
Yeah.
can tell she's put a lot of time and effort into it, so it'll be really cool to see that
Yeah.
come to fruition.
Yeah, when it happens, we'll watch it and talk about it on the show. All right, what else do we got? Is that it? That all of them? Okay, there he is. Guardian of the Gulf. I'm sorry. Guardianofthegulf.com. If you want to go there and go check out the film, you can do that. So I think that's all the selfies for this week. Are we done with that? All right, so I guess it's time. Do we have? Yeah, let's major key. We got anything else to talk about?
I mean, if you want to do Dear John, maybe we could get some advice help, or we can go straight into the keys.
You want to go to keys? You good, or you want to give some advice?
We can go straight to the keys.
Okay, it's time for the major key segment.
So let me give you a major key. Where is the key?
That is not the key. I want the key.
Give us the keys. So let me give you a major key.
And you really do have the key.
Everybody stand up right now. Everybody. I got the keys now.
All right, so it's time for major key. Mary, what a major key is we take something from today's episode and we put it in a little saying. It's like a life lesson. So we have like 100 of these, where last week's was stay off the naughty step. I'm going to be careful which ones I call out here. Usually, John, we have a segment where he gives advice to people, and we had one tonight, but it was a little risque, so we're like, we'll do it next week. But he gives bad advice too. I know he's sitting right there, but he doesn't give really good advice. So
it doesn't matter if I'm in the room or not. This is
as from episode 14, where John said, "Give uggos a chance." That was your actual quote.
Everybody deserves a chance.
Yeah, ugly people.
If they
too.
didn't, I'd never be married.
So yeah, so a lot of these come from. Wow. Thank you, John.
Sorry, Robin.
All right, so what do you guys have for episode 125? This is usually the little collaborator. Mary, if you got anything, some great wisdom you want to. If not, you can just watch these two flounder. It's always fun to do that as well.
The city of Savannah is haunted.
Okay.
Oh, is
There we
that
go.
it? All right.
Savannah is haunted.
They do it up. Apparently, that's not true. But anyways, all right, there we go. There we go. That is it. Episode 125. Okay, so Mary, we're coming to the end of the show. How do people find you on social media? How do they follow you? Give out all your contact information.
Oh gosh. Okay. Well, for Twitter, it's Mary J Mays, and I'm just now starting to understand Twitter.
Yeah,
this is a lot. And then same thing with Instagram, which it's not a weather Instagram. It's just me doing whatever I do.
Just going out around town.
Yeah, just doing normal stuff. So it's kind of boring. And then for the weather stuff, it's just Mary Mays on Facebook. It's Meteorologist Mary Mays.
You did a terrible job of selling your pages there. They're lame. Yeah, go to the weather one. That's it.
The weather one's where it's at. The Facebook. I mean, if you want to see pictures of me standing around,
Who is your photographer most of the time in your pictures?
I will usually Josh or Mara, but sometimes if I'm like alone, I'll just pop my phone.
Okay, you don't go ask strangers to take pictures.
No,
do you?
I'm creative, and also there's these things called tripods.
But have you ever like, hey man, take this picture of me? It's a really good shot. Okay, people do,
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of fine. I like to take people's pictures because I give them a lot of different angles.
Oh, look at that.
A lot of, I think it's fun. I enjoy Instagram the most out of all social media because it's just fun. It's very, it is what it is.
You're like, yeah, that's the one I enjoy the most, but it's the most boring one to follow me on. So, but yeah, no, check her out. It's good follow. Like I said, follow the weather. You're on you're on News 2, and you're on Saturday and Sunday. You're definitely in the morning.
Yes,
because I watch every Saturday and
then
Sunday.
During the week, whenever.
Yeah, whenever you'll see her on there. Like this weekend,
I'll just pop up. It's a surprise every time.
Snow hits. You'll see her. You work with Danielle Breezy, right? Okay, she's been on the show before. She called in during the 24-hour stream, and she is just lovely and amazing.
Yeah,
and
I love her.
So sweet. Like she was a judge for something we did at work for like a talent show, and she was just so nice. She took pictures with everybody. It was great. I just like seeing people like that. Like, just being involved with the community and being super cool.
She's awesome. We love her.
So you might see those two this weekend. We'll see if the what do they call it, the snow dome or whatever. It strikes or whatever. I've never even heard
Closes, that. I think the snow dome stops snow from happening.
It sounds fake. It just, I don't know.
Fake news. You heard it here from a meteorologist.
No, let's not do that. Let's not bring that phrase into this.
Too late.
John, he's all about the fake news, right? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So that's it, man. Go check her out. Go watch her on WKRN. You'll definitely see her. She's everywhere around town. So if you see her, say hi. Don't be weird. And then, if you want to check us out a little bit more, go to blameyourbrother.net. That's our website. And you can go there and check out all the past episodes. And our friend River has started his own podcast, which we're hosting. And it's called SERP. It's called Still Untitled Review Podcast, where he reviews other podcasts. And so his first episode was on Girl Beer Sports. I'd say a friend of ours for sure in the podcast community. So he did a review on them. So go check that out. And we've got Josh Baker writing for us again. He was in the death care industry, like picking up dead bodies and stuff. So he's writing stories about that, and it's always
a real interesting read.
Yeah, it is. He's a great writer. And don't forget, Adam Cox is writing great stuff as well. He did the review of 2018. He writes a lot about pop culture and things like that. So please go check all that out on the website. All of our links are up there. Social media, ways to download the podcast, check it out. And don't forget, if you're going to buy stuff on Amazon, use our Amazon link. It'll take you to Amazon. You buy whatever you want. We get a small percentage of sales. So every little bit helps. And then RadioVegas.rocks. If you don't forget, we're streamed there every Thursday. RadioVegas.rocks. It's a great internet radio station, the best one in the world. It's streamed out of Las Vegas, so go check it out. And don't forget, go to scoopnashville.com. That's Jason's website. It's amazing. He's breaking news stories now about codes people and giving out illegal codes. It's wild. Scoop Nashville. If you want the breaking news, go there and check it out. He's breaking all the great scoops. And if you want to email us, there's a form on there. You can do that. If you want to write to John and get some bad advice, you can do that. We got a whopper for next week, okay? The one we got today is a whopper. I'll just put it like that. So you definitely want to hear that next week. And if you want to leave a voicemail, that's an option as well. You can do that on there. And I think that about covers it. Mary, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us.
Thank you for having me.
I learned a lot, actually. It was very surprising. And wow, that was such an insult. Wow, I don't even know. I just did. Wow, I don't know.
No, what it is,
I don't even know how to back out of that one.
What is it? Slow bake?
You think you know everything. So when you actually, someone can get through your thick skull, it's just very surprising.
I'm just saying, I don't know. I'm just, you know what?
It's okay. I look
Cut
dumb.
your losses. Yeah, no.
You're not the first person to think that.
Other news people have come. Other news people come. I've never learned anything. I learned quite a bit about weather. So there you go. I'll walk out of that. Okay, I guess
Just shut up. Just
Just remember this for next week's apologies, okay?
Yes, I will. I'll apologize to Mary on next week. Okay, Lee, I guess with that being said, is there anything else?
don't blame yourself when you can blame your brother.
Burn this.
I'm sorry?
This must never be seen by anyone.
You want me to play it again?
Has anybody seen this?
Nobody has seen this.
They have to be found and talked to.
That's enough. Put down the mic.
You know that new sound you're looking for?